veteran related. If you or someone you know has ever worn the uniform of the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, or National Guard or Reserves, you've come to the right place. American Warrior Radio, right here on the Talk to Me station, AM 1300 WMEL, sponsored by AVET Project. Folks, this program is all about supporting our troops and their families, both past and present. So please get comfortable, grab a cup of coffee, maybe a pencil or paper, jot down a note or two, because we're always efforting to bring you important information. With that said, let's roll down the runway and get this show off the ground. My name is Garen Cohn. I'm an Air Force veteran and a retired legal advocate for veterans, as well as founder of AVET Project. But as always, flying through the airwaves with me today is...
Good morning, I'm Glenn McGuffey, manager of your Brevard County Veteran Services team, and we're excited to bring you a great show today. We're going to be bringing you not only the information about the exciting events supporting veterans and AVET in the community now and in the near future, but we're going to talk to you today. We haven't done this in a couple years, my memory serves me right, about the Florida veteran benefits, and a couple of those have changed. And any of the veteran benefits, the state benefits, are, of course, important for you to know about them, because I get people in all the time that didn't know about certain property tax exemptions, which seems to affect lots of people. They really like that one. And
you've got some big news on that topic when we get to it.
Yeah, we have a big change that even I didn't know about until yesterday, so you're getting it, and I'm sure you guys didn't know about it until today. You're getting it here first today.
So hot off the presses.
Yep, and I think we want to see if you're paying attention out there and do a giveaway. Talk about that, Gary.
For all you folks that are listening, dialed into American Warrior Radio, if you're in the Brevard County, the Space Coast area, now if you're somewhere else listening on AM 1300 or 1300WMEL.com worldwide, this may not apply to you, but if you're here on the Space Coast and you enjoy good food and you are the third caller and you've never won an AVET Project prize pack before, if you're the third caller to the studio here at WMEL during American Warrior Radio by dialing 321-631-1300, that's 631-1300, we have got a wonderful Big Papa's Dinner gift certificate for you. So be the third caller if you haven't won before, and we're going to hook you up with some delicious food. Glenn, you mentioned that we've got a bunch of events. I want to cover them, and we'll talk about them again at the end of the show, but it's so important to get this information out there so you folks listening can participate. The first one's the big motorcycle ride taking place tomorrow, the Can You See Me Now Safety Run. And as you know, Glenn, we're set to stage and kickstands up at various American Legion posts. Have you got a list of those?
Yeah, I sure do. Melbourne Post 81, that's American Legion Post 81. That's on US 1 in Melbourne, better known as Harbor City Boulevard. When you cross the bridge, I hardly ever cross the bridge. I crossed it to come to the radio show today. Cocoa Post 22, American Legion, that's on Legion Lane in Cocoa, Florida. Well, let me give you the times with these. The Post 81 starts at 10:30. Post 22, they expect 11:15. Fort St. John, Post 359 at 11:30. And Titusville, Post 1, and that's always took pride in the fact that they have their name number 1, so that was the number 1 post of American Legion in America. So that's a little
the number
fun.
1.
It has to be, or they wouldn't be numbered 1.
Outstanding. And those kickstand up times, those are pretty fixed. So if you can't make it to the 10:30 at Post 81, the 11:15 at Post 22, or the 11:30 at Post 359, jump on your bike and be at Post 1, like Glenn just described, at noon. Kickstands up at noon at that one. We're going to chase up Highway 1 on our way to Destination Daytona, the Saints and Sinners Pub. There's going to be live music, wonderful speakers. There's going to be some great entertainment and food and beverage and all that. So we're going to run, the event ends, or we'll go as long as we'd like it to, but at least till 4:30. There's going to be 5 bands playing up there.
Wow.
Destination Daytona. So it's going to be a real fun time. And it's all about, now keep in mind, this is during Armed Forces Week, and it's all about increasing awareness about motorcycle safety out there on the highways. So please join us. It's just $10. You get a t-shirt while they last. $5 of that goes directly to AVET Project for our programs and services. So it's a great thing. Everybody wins, and it's a fun day. It's going to be a beautiful day. So join us if you can. We've also got this incredible event coming up on the 26th, which is Day of the Warrior.
Hey, cool.
For all those of you out there that enjoy mixed martial arts, Donnie Hare, USA Kickboxing MMA Promotions, is hosting a benefit. It's going to benefit AVET Project at Levels Entertainment Complex. That's the big, beautiful club across from Sam's Club on 192. That's May 26th. They're offering generous discounts for active duty military. The family is welcome, which you don't often hear at a lot of these type of events.
Well, that's true, but when you see them on TV, I'm sometimes amazed at the number of kids that are out in the audience, both in the wrestling and these mixed martial art things. And I was looking at the flyer here, and it talks about Muay Thai, and you won't know what that is unless you're in Thailand. That means much Thai.
Much Thai. Well, and
and they do kickboxing. That's a big thing in Thailand.
It's going to be a great event, and we're honored to have the Florida State Boxing Commissioner, Dr. Wayne Kearney, who happens to do some fee-basis dental work for the VA clinic out in Viera.
Oh, cool.
Out of his office in Palm Bay. So we're going to have the Florida State Boxing Commissioner. We're going to have, it's just going to be a really fun day from, starts at 1 o'clock and goes on. The main event starts at 7 o'clock. Check out all this information and get more details at avetproject.org, particularly by clicking on the Facebook icon on the lower left of the home page. Even if you're not a Facebook member, if you're shy away from all that social media stuff, this is easy because you click on it, it takes you right there, and while you can't interact, you can certainly view all the information. One other thing that we always like to talk about, which is free, now keep in mind, third caller, I'm not going to mention it again.
For that dinner.
That's right. The free baseball. We've been promoting this program out at Space Coast Stadium, and it really is neat because the Manatees, which is the minor league farm club of the Milwaukee Brewers,
yep,
for all their home games this year, if you are a veteran or active duty member and you'd like to have a nice day out at the ballpark, there are 8, this is all free, you get 8 tickets, 8 seats by the dugout, 8 hot dogs, 8 beverages, on-field recognition, and a beautiful plaque made by one of our volunteers, happens to be a Vietnam veteran. So get signed up for that just by going to Kim. You can send an email to kim@avetproject.org after you've had a look at the list of home games that remain. And we'll talk on another episode, an upcoming episode, about the events during the July 4th week. But that's going to be a blowout. It's going to be lots of fun. Let me throw one more out. Superboat races today. Now, the races are taking place some today and some tomorrow. But AVET Project has a booth set up at the Dry Pits at Cape Canaveral. Again, you can walk through the entire area for free. There's no charge to get into this. And lots of vendors set up. AVET Project is there. You get to look at the boats and talk to the throttle men and the drivers and all that.
Oh, boy, those are cool because we get to see them every year when I go to my October conference over at Clearwater Beach, and that's actually the wrap-up of the season for them and determines the winner. But where exactly is your booth going to be, Garen?
As you pull into the port, again, just turn off of A1A, going to the port, and it's like the second light. You're going to hang a left, and you'll see exactly where it is. There's ample parking over between the... It's next to grills. Okay, it's over. The parking is right adjacent to it. It's all fenced off inside there. You'll see the big superboats, and all of the vendors are set up there. Stop by and say hello at the AVET Project booth to Kim, myself, or one of our many volunteers that are manning it, because it's super important that we get the word out about the needs of our warriors and their families. And we've got a lot of information out there. We've opened the booth up to ABATE to help us promote this Can You See Me Now ride tomorrow. But real fun day. It's beautiful out there right now. Just came from setting up this morning before I got to the radio station here. But please come on out if you can and join us and have some fun today and tomorrow at the Superboat races at the Dry Pits in Port Canaveral. Just fire over there and you'll see it, because the boats are huge. You can't miss them.
I don't think you'll be able to miss them, and you'll certainly see the AVET signs and banners and Garen and Kim and
that's right,
and more.
Exactly. Now, you mentioned something at the top of the show, which I think is really interesting. Guys and gals listening, even though you may be out of state or maybe even out of country while you're listening to this online, there are probably programs like we're going to discuss available in where you're at. But we're going to talk about state benefits. But the hot topic is the one that you just pulled off the wire.
Yeah, and I'm not going to tell you about it to start with. I'm going to tell you about some more important state benefits because I want you to stick around for the property tax
Oh, you're
exemptions.
teasing them. I like that. That's good.
All right, let's start off with a relatively simple one, and it's different. I want to say something to you that some of these, the way they're administered, are different in every county, and there are 67 different counties in the state of Florida. And I'll try and point out the ones that you can expect not to be administered the same as they are in Brevard County. And Brevard's very veteran friendly. Thank goodness for that.
First, don't we have some 70,000 plus vets that live here?
Yeah. Call it 71,000 to be rounded off, and I don't agree with that. That's the VA's the guesstimate between censuses, and of course the last census was in 2000, and they seem to think that in Florida that the death rate of veterans exceeds the influx of veterans, and that's never been true, so I don't know how they justify that formula, but it cheats us out of some money in Florida for VA facilities and funding of their budgets for the existing facilities. Having said that, we'll go back to Florida benefits for veterans. The first one is, it may seem relatively simple until I put it in context for you, and that's you can take your DD-214 or your DD-214s, as the case may be, you may have more than one, to the clerk of the court and get them recorded free of charge. And then, and this is why it's important, when, like 99.9% of the veterans I know, you lose your 214 later on, you can get a certified copy real quick by going to the courthouse and getting it. Now, there's a potential problem with this, and that's the Florida Sunshine Law. In Florida, anything that you register like that is under the Sunshine Law, available to anybody. So theoretically, anybody can go over there and say, I want Tommy Smith's DD-214 or DD-214s, and they have to give it to them. And for a long time, that was a real problem. Now, what they do, and they should do in every county, but I know they don't from talking with other county service officers. But anyway, we don't care about them other counties. Unless you're listening in another county, you'll have to find out separately for yourself. But in Brevard, while they can't refuse to give me Tommy Smith's DD-214, they will redact all the identifying information. Redact is a fancy legal word for mark it out with a big black marker where you can't see through the marker. And so that's a good thing, because then you've got a DD-214 readily available. If you have to order it, even with the new online system, it's going to take you 3 weeks probably to get it. And usually when people come in my office wanting a 214, they wanted it yesterday.
Right, right. So you're telling me under the Sunshine Law, that's Florida's answer to the Freedom of Information?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right, so anybody can get anybody's DD-214. That kind of bothers me, but nevertheless.
Yeah. Well, and it became a big problem, probably a decade ago, when a lawyer up in New Jersey was fishing them out, not only out of Florida, but out of all other states. And several people in our county got caught up in that, getting their 214s and then applying for credit cards and all kinds of things.
Because there's some revealing information on there.
Identity theft. And
right.
It makes it real easy if you got all the information off the 214. You got social security number, date of birth, where you're born, all kinds of things. People might ask you to validate that you are who you say you are.
But under this, they, as you said, redact it, so that information isn't going to be provided.
That's correct, and that's in Brevard for sure, and I hope most of the other counties, but I know it's not in all of them.
So if somebody's getting out of service, they're getting their discharge document, that DD-214, they can go to the county and have it registered, and they'll maintain it on file.
That's right, and if you need one real quick, you can get it real quick.
And it'll be a certified
copy. They can certify it. Yeah,
okay,
sure
well that's
can.
important.
Yeah.
So there's some definite benefit to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I say, unfortunately, you know, when I was in the military, the last thing they tell you when you got out was, here's your DD-214. Do not lose this. This is the most important document you're ever going to get in your life. And I don't know. You guys and gals went out there and threw them away as you were walking down the street or something.
It's like, I'm done with that.
The number we help you order is phenomenal.
Well, and There's other benefits, but that one's kind of primary. That's where you want to get started to make sure that you've always got a copy that's safeguarded and readily available.
Oh, absolutely. And then a brand new benefit is that
this is a new one, yeah.
Yeah, you can put a V on your driver's license to indicate that you're a veteran. Of course, you'd have to, when you're getting the driver's license, show them your DD 214. Here we go again.
Right.
To prove that you're a veteran. The catch here is and it's only $1 to do this.
Okay, so it's $1 fee.
But you got to wait till your driver's license expires, and you have to renew it, because if you just go over there and want to change your driver's license for one with a V on it, well, they're going to charge you the full price, and that's $40-something to.
Oh my. Okay, so when your license comes up for renewal,
when it renew, yeah,
it's important. Spend the extra $1 and get the V indicator on there to show that you are a veteran. And what purpose might that serve?
Well, a point of personal pride. It might be something that could be used for these discounts that some of the stores come out with to identify you as a veteran. So you don't have to haul your 214 around with you.
You make a good point too, though, because as you folks that are veterans, honorably discharged veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces, are out there in the community purchasing and buying things, whether you're at Lowe's or Home Depot, I know they have a 10% off for veterans benefits. But you may as well ask if you're at Ace Hardware or somewhere else, and they may have it as well.
Yeah, you never know till you ask, and it's always worth asking, because you'd be surprised. Most all hotels have a discount for veterans, and it's always good to ask.
It doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. And by having that little V on your driver's license, again,
it's an easy way to prove it.
That's wonderful. I like that idea. And then there's a state ID card too.
Yeah, the state ID card is a picture ID card that you can order through our office. And of course, we're in the County Government Center, Bravo Building, and you can reach us at 633-2012 or 321-633-2012 if you're out of county, or down in the Barefoot Bay area, because they have a different area code down there. And the 100% disabled state ID card, first you have to be rated by the VA 100% permanent and totally disabled, not just 100%, because you can get 100% from the VA but not be permanent. And basically that's used for several things, like the free hunting and fishing license to prove you're eligible for that, and some other state benefits that go along. What you cannot use that state ID card for is what you're still waiting for, and that's property tax exemptions.
And we'll get to that, and we promise. But
yeah, we promise to get that in.
The idea behind that state ID card is it can be used for all types of other programs in the state of Florida that offer a discount or free for veterans. What are some of those? I know that you can get your driver's license fee exempted if you have that P&T.
Yep, and the ID card serves as proof for that. A totally different benefit is a handicap toll permit. If you're, and I'll give you an enigma here, but when they passed this, it was obviously many years ago, and if your service-connected disability hinders your ability to put money in the money slot at a toll booth, then you could get this toll permit, which puts you through with no charge, no muss, no fuss. Of course, back in those days when they passed this law, I suspect they didn't have this little card that you can stick up in your windshield.
Right. So
but
now
I'm not going to tell the legislators to change this, by the way. As long as it continues on, I'm happy.
Exactly. If you have an upper limb impairment, you're going to qualify for this. If you, in other words, you have trouble getting the coins in the basket,
exactly,
they provide a little window sticker.
Yep.
Okay, so that's a good thing.
You betcha. And I don't know if they're going to switch now. Well, we'll just leave that alone. If they go there, they're gonna. The possibility would be that they tell you to buy one of these toll passes, and
and
then your free benefit goes away. So
right.
Sometimes you don't want the legislature to mess with anything. Just leave it just like it is.
That's a good point. And there's discounts on motor vehicle license plates depending on your status.
Oh yeah, and some of those statuses are Medal of Honor, ex-prisoner of war, Gold Star.
What's Gold Star? What is that?
Gold Star is honoring family members of Florida service members who have been killed while serving on active duty.
Okay, so we want to honor and respect those folks because they have paid a price too, losing one of their
Oh,
loved
absolutely.
ones.
And that's, for instance, that's spouse, legal mother or father or step parent who is currently married to the mother or father of the fallen service member. So it's not just the spouse or if children are old enough to drive. So
Sure, and you can get a special designated license plate if you're in the Florida National Guard, the Reserve,
right,
if you served during Operation Iraqi Freedom.
and Enduring Freedom. And interestingly, the acronym for the Florida Air National Guard is FANG.
So if you see that out there on the highways, you'll know what that means.
What that means. And then for Pearl Harbor survivors, those awarded the Purple Heart, and for U.S. paratroopers, there's always somebody wanting a specialty tag out there. You'd be amazed at the number of requests for this, and there's a process which is long and involved and takes a lot of signatures on it, but it can be done.
Exactly.
Paratroopers did it.
Right, now, exactly. And these booklets, there's information available to you, and the Florida Veterans Foundation, which is the nonprofit arm of the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, helped in the printing of these. It's the Florida Veterans Benefits Guide, and you can go to www.floridavets.org, floridavets.org. But we're going to continue with this conversation. One last thing, though, the Florida State Discount Park Passes.
Okay, Florida State Discount Park Passes is honorably discharged veterans who have service-connected disabilities, their surviving spouses, and those Gold Star parents we talked about of the people who have fallen in combat will receive a lifetime family annual entrance pass at no charge. You have to apply at a Florida State Park that has somebody working there, and not all of them have that luxury. There's rangers that work at some of them, but not all of them. And you have to go directly to them. Don't come to me. I can't give it to you.
Exactly, and you have to have your documentation, your DD-214.
Right.
Or your state ID.
And your rating decision.
Right.
Or something that proves what your ratings are. And you get that annual statement from the VA. You could take that one-page letter and show it to them.
And the hunting and fishing licenses are discounted or available depending, again, on your status.
Right. And, it's free for 100% permanent and total service-connected disabled. Retirees and active duty pay $20 for it. And we're going to be right back with you. And we're going to talk some more about Florida benefits. Stick around. Stay with us.